So the first Kipco British Champions Series race of the week at Goodwood is the Qatar Goodwood Cup. And Big Orange is looking for a hat-trick in the race. Closing stages of him last year. What is it about him and this track which seems to marry so well together, Chris?
I don't really know. I think he's such a straightforward horse. He's got form at all different tracks, but this has been his race, hasn't it, in recent times? He brings a touch of quality to the staying division. He's a group winner over Shorter, and I think that counts for a bit, that class that he's got. But his real asset is his attitude and his toughness and will to win, which is something that we saw in abundance here at Royal Ascot. Do you want the test of the horses in behind?
Yes, let's do that. So here's the number one. So this is Big Orange, who we know wins the race. And then in behind, there are some who are likely to reoppose at Goodwood, and they are...
She Is No Lady, who's here. Do you want to find the next one? She Is No Lady eventually finishes in fourth spot. Then you've got Sheikh Zayed Road.
There he is,
who obviously has run in the last two renewals behind Big Orange of the Goodwood Cup as well. He hit the frame last year, but he wasn't right at his very best on this occasion. We've got Sweet Selection, who's on his outside, eventually finishes in seventh spot, and Prince of Arran, who's over here on the outside. So they're the horses that were behind Big Orange, and they're all going to try and reverse the form, but I think as you watch it through, it's hard to see any of them really being up to doing it, isn't it?
And also this highlights the attitude of Big Orange, because Order of St George flying down the outside under Ryan Moore. In some ways the worst thing that he could have done and that happened to he and Ryan Moore is that he hung over to his right and he got to the quarters of Big Orange, and the moment Big Orange feels him, he says, not for passing.
Yeah, everything went right here for Big Orange. He had the run of the race under a good tactical ride from James Doyle, who got the tempo right in front. Frankie Dettori takes over for the Goodwood Cup. I don't think things went the way of Order of St George, who was narrowly beaten, but the pair are clear, and I think you're right. The fact that he eyeballed him when he did, he gave Big Orange a chance to really fight, was perhaps the difference, because he's a very tough horse, and that might just be a little bit of something that perhaps Order of St George lacks for all his undoubted quality. So Big Orange, as we've said already, his attitude is his big asset, and that's something that he displayed there.
Potential negative, we talk about horses having a hard race. Undoubtedly he did.
Yeah.
How much of that is a negative? Yes, he's had a nice little break, but could that have just taken a lot out of him for the rest of the season?
It could have done, but he delivers his form so regularly that you've just got to assume that he's going to turn up and show it once again.
In so many different continents as well.
Yeah, exactly. And travelling takes a bit out of a horse as well, and he seems to stand up to that. So I think he'll be okay. I think you've just got to trust that the team will have him there in top condition again for a third win in the race. Of those that were in behind him, She Is No Lady produced a career best, clearly going the right way, but I think that Prince of Arran might actually reverse the form with one or two of those that were in front of him at Royal Ascot. He just didn't seem to get home over 2.5 miles. Back down to 2 miles, it should suit him better. The track would be a little bit of a worry for him, I think. Even though he's got form at Epsom and Brighton, it's not as good as the form that he's got elsewhere. So that would just be a little bit of a doubt with me in the back of my mind about him at the track. But really, from the Ascot Gold Cup, Big Orange really should uphold the form with all of those that were behind him.
And Prince of Arran's trainer says that he thinks the ground will certainly suit him on the day, and he's come out the race last time well. I think quietly confident he'll run well. Whether he's confident he'll reverse form with Big Orange remains to be seen. What about elsewhere then? Because we've touched upon those in behind in the Ascot Gold Cup. We've got another bit of Ascot form to look at, and this is Stradivarius winning. We'll pick him out. He actually has to wait for a run for a little bit. And another horse to pick out is Desert Skyline, David Ellsworth, Desert Skyline, who seems to have been unlucky a few times this season. Perhaps he just lacks, if we roll it on that boot, that toe that Stradivarius possesses here, because when the gap appears, he pings through it. That's a sign of a good horse.
Yeah, Stradivarius has a gap and he quickens through it. Desert Skyline has a bigger gap for longer and can never get through it. He just looks too one-paced and it closes up in front of him. So that's the difference between the two horses, I think, is a little bit of tactical speed and class. But I do think that the trip will really suit Desert Skyline. That said, I think it could suit Stradivarius as well, because each time that he's had a step up in distance, he's found a little bit of improvement in his form. I don't think Chester really suited in that very tight track. It probably wasn't ideal for him, so hopefully he's okay at Goodwood. That's something that we don't know at this stage, but if he handles it, getting the 3-year-old allowance, he might just be the biggest danger to Big Orange.
Just to go back to Big Orange and that performance at Ascot, plenty were crabbing chances because it's a different track. Ascot, it was over further than he'd been. It's a longer, sweeping home straight. Would that really play to his front-running style? He answered those questions beyond all doubt, and we know he likes Goodwood. So he's going to be tough to pass, isn't he?
He's going to be very tough to pass. I suppose hijinks might sort of pester him on the front end. He seems to be ridden forcefully, doesn't he? So Frankie Dettori will want to make sure that he doesn't end up going too quick, but I'd say that Frankie's a fair judge of pace, so he should be all right to not overdo the front running tempo, I don't think, and he'll be in the right spot, and he's just going to be a hard horse to pass. It'll be interesting to see if anyone does get in the position to come after him and really throw down a challenge to him inside the final furlong. Do they try and eyeball him? Or do they try and stay away from him?
Stand side rail. Get over there as quick as you can.
Because you know that he'll fight.
Yeah, absolutely. He certainly will. He was a mighty performer at Ascot last time, was Big Orange, and that performance no doubt made his trainer very, very happy indeed.
We were aware that Quest for More wanted to make the running, so we didn't want to get in a fight with him, and Jamie on Quest for More came across and got the rail, which was fine, and we sat in behind him. But most stayers aren't comfortable going the pace that Big Orange wants to go, so James did exactly the right thing, just coming past the winning post, let the horse go to the front and got in that nice rhythm, and he got a breather into him and then picked up probably 3 or 4 out whenever it was he changed gear, and I think he definitely got a bit lonely in front. It's a long way to pretty well make all, but when Order St George came to him, you can definitely see him change gear, because Order St George gains very fast on him, looks like he's going to go by, but when he gets to his girth, Big Orange picks up again.
And talk to me about your range of emotions, because the 2.5 miles takes an awful long time to run, and he's out in front, and I remember hearing you say that the commentator said, oh, they've still got 1.25 miles to run. What's it like for you at that stage?
Well,
watching?
I think the great thing about stayers, I've trained, group winning sprinters, and group winning stayers and middle distance horses, and you definitely get the race unfolds more over the further the race, the more plots there are. 5 furlong races are over in 59 seconds. It's over in a flash, isn't it? So it is, of course, they're exciting, but there's definitely more theatre, more drama, better value for money watching a stayer, isn't it? Emotionally, any way you look at it.